Previously, we actually continued this pretty legit mission to bring the nefarious ways of capitalism to Soviet Russia, a task we would have never accepted were it not requested by Russia themselves, as bringing capitalism anywhere tends to destroy everything, at least in terms of Tropican logic, because, let's be honest, the majority faction in Tropico is always 100% of the time communist, and if you're not appeasing them, you're gonna get overthrown. That's just how it works. That's communism. That's communism in practice. So Russia's probably fucked, but that's not really our problem. Anyhow, we were given this pretty strange task. I forgot the reason we were given it. We gotta send canned pineapples to Russia. What they want with that, I have no idea. I think like one of their ministers wants to make a pie or some shit. Well, yeah, that's something we gotta do. And then we gotta build some nightclubs and cabarets, and we're still not at the maximum environmental happiness, which is unfortunate. Let's see if we can potentially fix that. We could potentially issue an edict right now to fix that problem. That's already on. It's gonna be under economy. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Fine, we'll do it. And we'll see how bad that tanks us. Probably very badly. Sure, I'll increase the healthcare happiness. I might as well. So one of the concerns I have is that the canned pineapples are not being taken to the canneries and are instead being taken to the market to be sold to the population, which, if that is happening, is a very, 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 very big problem. I don't need to tell you that's a big problem because it's pretty much the biggest problem. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just they're trying to build up their supplies here and then they'll be shipped out to the cannery. Because if that's the case, we might have a serious problem on our hands. We might be unable to make canned pineapples.
Presidente, Europe has taken serious antitrust measures against several American companies. The U.S. has responded by setting duty fares for European commodities.
Europe's actions are unjust because Europe won't attack us. The United States will attack us, and I'd much rather not be attacked by the United States. So, you know, that's just how it goes. Sorry, Europe. Oh, I think we actually just got hit by the two contacts, too. I didn't really notice it, though. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. Are you kidding me? I increased the maintenance cost of my factories, and I've only increased environmental happiness by 1. Oh, there it goes. I was about to say, it ain't fucking happening. I'm going to turn that program off if that's the case. Okay, so some pineapples should be delivered soon. They got a nice stockpile built up. And now, all we have to do is, I guess, sit here and wait. Wait for one of the trucks to come by, pick up the pineapples, and see if they take them to the factory, or if they're lazily taken to the market, and sold to the Tropican people, who they don't belong to. These are my pineapples, not the Tropicans, they're mine. And I want them to be sold to Russia, because apparently Russia likes pineapples. Something we could do, I guess, to help speed this up is build another cannery. But I don't know if that's the best idea. I mean, I've tried this before on other missions. I've tried it before. I've tried setting up additional factory spots. They don't really seem to increase our income all too much. In fact, they seem to drain our resources a lot faster with little to no rewards. So maybe not the best idea. What would be nice is if I could upgrade the tourist district a little. Because as it stands right now, you know, we got hotels and stuff, but you know, this is kind of a secondary income area. I'm going to be honest with you. It's secondary income, but it's still useful. It's still useful income. There's no such thing as wasted income. So let me see if I can potentially set some shit up over here to make this even better. A sky wheel, that would be nice. We'll just shove it in. I don't know, where should we put it? Okay, so we could put it like right here. Fuck it, we'll put it like right there. That'll be perfect. They'll love it. They'll be able to go up, they'll be able to see the ocean, see the cargo liners coming in carrying the Tropican cotton goods, and they'll know that they're in good hands. They'll know. Oh, hey, we are shipping canned pineapples, so apparently that's not a problem. Good to know! Now the people on the Ferris wheel, when they get up to the top, they'll be able to see the pineapples. The canned pineapples they eat every day, probably, in Russia. Because these are all Russian tourists, if we're following the game's logic. Even though, they really don't look Russian in any sense of the word. But apparently they are Russians. So yeah, that's good. Our healthcare happiness is dropping quite a little bit, so I'm gonna build a hospital. I'm sure they won't mind. I mean, it's not that expensive. Where should I put it? We kind of wanted to put it somewhere where it's easily accessible to everyone that actually matters, and that would be right here, right next to the college, right next to the, you know, whatever this is, the stock exchange. Yeah, that works. Those are the only people that deserve healthcare anyway. We're not one of those socialist countries that gives healthcare to everyone. No. No. We only give it to the people that can afford it, like these very wealthy intellectuals and the stockbrokers and the journalists. So fuck everyone else over here. They don't get shit. Even though we are allegedly a communist country, and I'm pretty sure right now we are satisfying every request the communists could possibly have for us. Or we're not satisfying every request the communists could have for us. Okay, I take that back. We're not a communist country right now. Good to know. Well, I guess we really can't be. We're trying to model capitalism for Russia. It'd be kind of, you know, defeating of the purpose if we were a communist country. The environmental happiness is teetering back and forth. I really hope it can get to 60 so I can just, you know, remove all of these environmental protection acts and, you know, start getting things business as usual once the Toucan tax is gone. That'd be great. Yeah. Poor healthcare responsible for 5 deaths. Listen, we know, 5 deaths, but I'm willing to bet 100% chance that those 5 deaths were from lowly farmers. They weren't from the people that actually matter. They weren't these guys or these guys. They probably weren't the factory workers either, even though, you know, they don't get healthcare either. It's just that the safety standards here are clearly perfect, which is why everyone stays at their job, and we totally haven't had any trouble of people disappearing from work. Yeah, that's never happened. We haven't had worker shortages from the deaths caused by the machinery. No. Don't worry, it's fine. I wish you would actually let me see who died, because that would be kind of interesting to know who was the one that died from healthcare. My money is on anyone who lives in these shacks here. Is healthcare free on Tropico, or is it... Does it cost money?
Hello, Tropico. I have great news for
Healthcare is always free on Tropico. Wow, okay. Well, that's a thing. Apparently we are a socialist country. Elections without speeches. We'll be fine. Look at the majority lead we have.
This traction is guaranteed to make you hurl in 1.3 seconds. I can't wait to have a go.
Oh, it's a foreign investment. Let's see.
Presidente, I just got a call from a foreign investor. Several calls, actually, with different proposals.
So someone wants to put in a hotel, the EU wants to put in a banana farm, and the US wants a weapons factory. Of course they do. I mean, of course they do. That is just so typical. What is not typical is the USSR wanting a hotel, but then again, they are the ones asking us to build a tourist district, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Alright, fine, we can do that. That actually sounds good, because we'll be bringing tourists in, you'll be paying for the hotels and maintenance, and your tourists will be paying for all the other shit. So, you know what? There we go. That works for me. In addition, of course, to the rent the USSR is paying us, which, you know, is also not wasted in any sense of the word. I think it's like $1,000. I actually didn't really look. I'm pretty sure it was like $1,000 though, or 1,000 something.